No, there's a whole, it's a whole invasion, boys. I'm not even kidding.
It's no bandages, no gas mask. Let's do it. Yeah, 2 shots left.
One more hit, that's down. Keep hitting the ATR.
Honestly, we might lose spud. We might
They
lose
have
spud.
5 of them pointed at us right now.
Holy crap!
I'm ready to cross. Let's go, boys and girls.
Looks like we're
Oh, Lucifer's across.
Yeah, we're going.
Before we dive into this episode of War 83, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, this channel. First off, thank you guys so much for liking these videos, subscribing, commenting, and even joining me in game. It's been an absolute blast putting together each episode, and if you do want more Foxhole and more of the Royal Spuds, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, since the vast majority of those who watch my videos are not subscribed. Thank you guys again, but enough of that, let's get on with the show. Over the last 2 weeks, the Royal Spuds had proven to be a worthy opponent and a supportive member of the Wardens. We were up against some tough colonial regiments holed up on Tempest Island, and at this point, there was almost no reason why we were able to keep taking back Lost Arkle and Planet Fada. From an invasion near Isawa to the early morning Fort Spud raid the other day, our guard was now up constantly, resulting in many of us even changing our sleep schedules to defend. And I'm not exaggerating here. Every episode from here on out, just try to imagine that for the rest of the war, I would be waking up at 4 a.m. each day. Despite this sacrifice, it was extremely rewarding to know that our defensive strategy was actually working. Whenever Fortress Tempest decided to unleash the Horde, they would never happen to get past Fort Spud, or they would be forced so far inland that our neighboring regiments would be able to quickly join us in defense as well, like this failed invasion attempt up in Isawa. But with more tech research and much more destructive vehicles, including the Chieftain for us and the Ballista for the Colonials, players had a much easier way to deal with concrete defenses, as we could now reliably fire volleys of incredibly destructive 250mm mortar rounds, which made for quick work of buildings and other structures. Ballistas are what tore through Fort Spud's first line of bunkers a couple days ago, and after nearly a week of constant siege in Godcrofts, I woke up for another bright and early morning shift and deployed, only to find out that we were under attack once again. But this time, we were on the ropes.
No, there's a whole, it's a whole invasion, boys. I'm not even kidding.
Yo, Punish Jones, we got an invasion down in our fort, south side.
It does a little bit.
Jesus Christ, shit.
Yeah, a whole bunch of tanks coming in.
Yep.
We've got plenty of
Got lots of Ignifists.
yeah, Ignifists. We've got some anti-tank rifles.
Did our bunkers just get destroyed?
Got 6
Yes.
shots, you have 68 at your base.
Yeah, all right, make them count.
Yes.
Oh god, 6 shots, no bandages, no gas mask.
God.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's outside our front door. They are rolling in, guys. They are
so
coming.
I will.
Ignifist rush them. Ignifist rush them.
I hit one with an Ignifist.
All right, where you at?
They're about for the bunker base.
I can't hit it. I can't hit it.
Oh shit, Bredicus.
No, I can't hit it.
Target's dead ahead.
Yeah.
Give me a
Yeah, hit one. Well, one dead.
Get the ballista that's firing.
Yeah.
It's dead
Yeah,
ahead.
I need to. You need to turn a little bit. I can't hit him.
Repair.
Yeah, one shot.
38%.
Just keep hitting it, guys.
All right, one down.
Nice, ATR
Oh, one more.
hits.
I don't know if that one hit. Yeah, reloading.
Don't let him kill the cement mixer.
Yep, good hit. Yeah, 2 shots left.
One more hit, that's down. Keep hitting the ATR.
Yeah, he's down.
We're getting slapped by something. Unknown. Get crew on that flank,
Yeah, left side. Push up. Yeah, see him? Yeah, AT down.
Nice. I need someone.
Out of rounds.
So share some of the
Yeah, we got some in here. Oh no! As we push back the initial tank force, a white whale landed on our beach. A ship that, once deployed, acts like a spawn point for the entire faction and can hold supplies like a bunker base. Unfortunately for me, during all the chaos, not once did I set my spawn at Fort Spud, and in the panic, I deployed over to Blackwatch to the west. Making the best of my situation, I tried to find a tank nearby, but when we finally did have it loaded up and ready to go, we discovered that the Colonials had also blown the bridge between Anchor Beach and the fort, forcing us to make a huge northern detour to get back around. By the time we did get to the beach, the invasion had been pushed back into the sea, and it looked like an absolute slaughter. The entire region of Godcrofts had once again rallied around Fort Spud, and through sheer stubbornness and a little bit of luck, we held strong. If you happen to miss it, the bunker base itself was at 0% at one point. That's just how close we came to going down and being rolled over by the landing ship. This invasion, however, was the last straw. After 4 of these things over the past 3 days, we had to take a good hard look at the terrain around us. Blackwatch to the west was fairly well defended by the French 11 ERC. To our direct east between Fort Spud and Fleece Road was Callahan's Legion, or CL. Up north across the bridge in Prometheans were a handful of other regiments, including Błękitna Armia, or BA from Poland, KOF, a Korean regiment, and another European regiment called RAT, which was situated on the way into Axehead. Now, of course, there were plenty more groups which laid claim to the various smaller bunker bases scattered throughout the region, but these were the ones that we had quickly become familiar with all the defending. Unfortunately, these beach landings had made us realize that although we had plenty of other regiments nearby, we actually didn't have much in the way of defense of Isawa proper, and because of how narrow Fort Spud was, we couldn't actually build up nearly as much as we wanted to down by the border. It was going to be a huge undertaking, but the Spud set out to create defense in depth for Southern Godcrofts, establishing multiple layers of defenses around Isawa Town Hall and laying out the groundwork for a beachhead that would hopefully prevent future invasions. Isawa was going to become a fortress, with Fort Spud holding the intersection. Firebase Yukon Gold was established smack in the middle of town, with range to both sides of the southern border, able to hit anything that would threaten the fort or the Fleece Road relic base, as well as every beachhead nearby. Fort Starch was built just west down the road, allowing for sprawling defenses that could cover the northwest side of the city and prevent naval invasions. Finally, the Baked Potato was built just north across the bridge, our ultimate fallback position to cut off any push that may blow through the town and move towards Prometheans. It was an incredible amount of work, and although Fort Starch and the Baked Potato would take some time to fully get up to snuff, we had the basics down. Firebase Yukon, on the other hand, was looking great, with pre-sighted artillery pits which would allow any crew to quickly dial in either the east or western crossroads, a designated loading area for pulling shells, and basic defenses to protect the crews. We were ready. Ironically, if we hadn't have been invaded so often, we probably would have overlooked some of these weak points in the area, so we joked that the Colonials actually made us stronger and continued on with our building. Over the next day, however, a brand new weapon would come online for the Colonials. Although we had 120 and 150 millimeter artillery, the Collies were the first ones to research 300 millimeter artillery. These massive guns, called storm cannons, could fire up to 1,000 meters and cross regions. Whereas players needed to queue in order to travel, and bullets would just disappear if you were firing at the border regions, storm cannons had the unique ability to hit anything from anywhere as long as it was within 1,000 meters. This meant that Fortress Tempest could stay nice and safe behind their concrete blockade and begin blowing apart Godcrofts bit by bit while we had no way to counter. Having yet to see the barrage myself, we witnessed firsthand the destruction that they could lay out. CL had planned for their very own storm cannon south of the Isawa Town Hall, and since each one required a massive 3x3 concrete platform and plenty of generators for power, storm cannon bases were very easy to spot. The Colonials had apparently scouted all of the Warden storm cannon bases within range and sniped them, obliterating both CLs in Isawa and the 11th ERCs in Blackwatch. In another ironic twist of fate, Fort Spud actually didn't plan for a storm cannon since we didn't even know they existed until about 10 days into the war. So we were actually fairly low priority on the hit list, given that 2 town halls and 2 relic bases were also in range of the storm cannon instead. These storm cannons are actually extremely costly to maintain and need power to fire, and unlike normal artillery pieces that can freely adjust azimuth in order to hit various targets, storm cannons would spend nearly 2% power to adjust 1 degree in direction, and each round fired would take 1% power as well. This made changing targets incredibly risky, since if you were to fire on a relic base, for example, and then swap targets to something else, but the enemy simply rebuilt that relic, then your storm cannon is no longer able to quickly respond with the follow-on barrage and assist friendlies in capturing and securing that area. Although confident in our defenses throughout the region, seeing the absolute destruction of CL's base was humbling. As neighbors, we helped to rebuild around the massive craters as much as we could, and then eventually had to answer the call for tank support back in the Deadlands and Umbra Wildwood. We had finally broken through Vagrant Bastion, and a massive operation was underway to siege the Foundry. It was exciting, and after all the destruction that had taken place in Godcrofts, it was kinda nice to take our chance to send it right back to the Colonials. After a few hours of battle, I found myself back at Abandoned Ward building an APC. Although they might look weak, APCs are absolute units, can travel across water, and can fit 6 players. By dropping the ramp and allowing everyone to fire out the back, the APC can make for some sneaky operations to kill tanks and structures, much of what was preventing our advance into the Foundry. It was here, in a slow-moving APC in the middle of Umbra Wildwood, where I heard that Fort Spud was actually the next storm cannon target.
Honestly, we might lose Spud. We
They
might lose
have
Spud.
5 of them pointed at us right now.
We're crater.
One more volley and we're fucked, boys.
Yeah, one more direct hit. Fuck.
Limited bodies repair.
Did they
We need
stop?
beam asses. We need beam
Holy
Go.
crap!
Jinxed it.
Holy.
Fort Spud spawn has been lost.
The road. that
Damn,
put
dude,
some
I
leftovers
cannot
found
believe
on the
that.
ground.
There's no road anymore. I mean, it is.
How's it looking out
I
there,
will
boy?
say,
Is it bad?
it looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. If this wasn't
I
Fort
just drove
Spud,
through. It
I'd
looks
be-
depressing as shit.
Yeah.
Boy, just lost Fort Spud. Can't say cool.
I mean, it does look kind of cool. I'm not like it's like a cool sad, but also like all right, that's kind of cool. But it's mainly sad. In a weird way, it was almost an honor that this little base was targeted, and although we fully expected to have a follow-up invasion, it never came. The storm cannon barrage almost felt personal, as if the callers were saying, fine, you keep fighting? How about we just wipe you off the map? We don't even care enough about you to invade, we just want you to know what we're capable of. With Fort Spud in ruins, we all collectively looked at each other and agreed that we needed to start digging again. Although we had plenty of veterans around us telling us it was no use to build within storm cannon range, especially when all the other friendly ones in the region had been destroyed, we had to. We had to rebuild. We had to stand our ground. We might get hit again, but if we didn't build and just left, who was the next target? The fire base up the road? Fort Starch? Isawa? Fleece Road? Would they just slowly destroy everything one by one, and we would just all collectively shake our heads and run scared out of the region? Fort Spud was the gate to Godcrofts, and if we were to turn tail and run, we were essentially rolling out the red carpet for the Colonials. Despite the advice from nearly everyone who wasn't a Spud, we rebuilt, and we even reconcreted what we could, hoping that we could manage to somehow keep it alive for the next 24 hours. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't meta, but it was still Fort Spud. Despite multiple storm cannons, we were still here, and that was something to be proud of. With concrete drying, the Royal Spuds had to shift gears for an enormous multi-regiment operation that was currently in progress to try and brute force our way through Fortress Tempest. The plan was simple, but required an incredible amount of moving parts. Our only real shot at getting into Tempest Island right now was through the rush, since the Nugget had plenty of open ground, which could allow for supporting bunker bases and artillery, and it was thought that at least 1 or 2 of the storm cannons were actually near the town hall itself. So if we were to break through the rush, we would also have the potential to knock out 2 critically important colonial assets. The French Alliance, which is a collection of various French regiments, was going to lead the operation. Artillery pits would be set up within range of the first couple lines of concrete defenses on the rush, with full gun crews to not only load and fire the guns, but also repair, since the Colonials had also built howitzer bunkers, a bunker piece with an AI-controlled howitzer cannon that would fire back incredibly accurately at any explosive damage it received. That meant that an artillery piece could survive only a couple of volleys at most before being destroyed itself by AI-controlled Howie blasts. With thousands and thousands of rounds and BMATs tasked to just the artillery pits themselves in order to destroy the concrete, armor was also staged to storm across the bridge, which not only needed to be repaired, but then also protected once it was up. Once that bridge was complete, armor would surge past, and chieftains with their 250mm bunker buster mortars would try and destroy as much concrete defenses as possible, opening the way for infantry to pour on through and start attacking into the bunkers itself. It was an incredibly ambitious operation, and we were tasked with joining the armor charge across the bridge to try and protect the chieftains and really just take as much damage as we could before going down. We were pretty much a distraction, and if we were able to get a kill or 2, great, but the real priority was to protect the chieftains, since they were the ones that could actually do significant damage to concrete. It was a one-way ticket, and after having Fort Spud absolutely obliterated just a couple of hours prior, we were more than willing to die for the cause. As we arrived on the Nugget, a calm sense of chaos washed over us. So many moving parts, infantry running every which way, lodges driving in and out, and constant artillery booming in the background. Yet, we took our spot in line, and we waited, calmly. We had a job to do, just as everyone else on this island did, and we were going to try our best to do it. Dude, this is insane.
I'm ready to cross. Let's go, boys and girls.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna get torn to shreds if they don't get these AT bunkers
Looks
out
like
yet.
we're
Oh, Lucifer's across!
Yeah, we're going.
Lucifer's,
he's
go,
down.
go, go!
Are we go?
Go, go, go! Push, push, push!
Second tank destroyed.
Alright, we'll see you in Valhalla. Whatever happens, happens. Push deep. Push hard and deep.
Go right.
I'm down.
Bowlers!
My God, this is the wall.
Go, go, go! Tank, tank, tank! Hit the tank, hit the tank! Left side, left side, left side, left tank, left tank, left tank! This one right here! Yo, back up, back up, back up, back up!
Retract.
Yo, nice kill, nice kill! Yo, we got a tank though! Yo, we got a tank though. Great job, great job. Respawn, grab infantry kit, and push the bridge. Great job, great job. The surge failed. One small misstep by the lead chieftain looked to have been the domino that prevented crucial mortar rounds from hitting the initial target, giving the Colonials that split second longer to respond and take us all out. We did manage to take out a tank or 2, but the big crack in the Kali concrete that we all wanted never really materialized. But we weren't done. The French spent the next few hours endlessly shelling the concrete, and to their credit, they did destroy a significant portion of the main entryway into the rush. During that time, we also caught word of a colonial counter-invasion that was spotted while a partisan was out on a dinghy, with their most likely target trying to knock out the artillery themselves, which we patiently sat and waited for on the only beach that they could land at. Yo, they're coming now, they're coming. They're landing.
There they are.
Go, push, now.
For the Nugget, let's go.
Yeah, yo, you got MG tank in front. Infantry front. Landing.
Morning, boys.
Howdy, brother.
Yeah, kill him.
Reload.
Yep.
Reloading.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117 It's meta! After getting absolutely demolished as we crossed the bridge earlier, this near instant deletion of the Colonials on Nugget Beach was a huge morale boost, and we then rejoined the troops back at the bridge. I want to say upwards of 5,000 rounds were used on the rush, and despite immense dedication by the French artillery crews, the concrete howitzers were just too much. It was a valiant effort, but the order was finally called to end the operation. As night fell, thunder would once again break the silence over the battlefield, but this time it would be Warden thunder. Although Godcrofts was one of the first regions to feel the full force of the storm cannons, the Colonials out west had somehow missed their opportunity to take advantage of the technology. The war was about to be blown wide open, and within days, waves and waves of Warden troops would break the stalemate and push south into the Colonial heartlands. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of War 83. As always, if you did like it, let me know your favorite part in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe for more. And don't forget to check out the live streams at twitch.tv/MoiDawg, where I stream every weekday. But that's it for me. Until next time, peace.
I mean, granted, Colonials are scientifically proven to all be born insane, but like...
Yeah, I think it's actually, some studies I have seen, I don't believe their IQ goes as high. It's just, it's just a fact, you know?
In the Warden Times newspaper, right?
Yeah, I've read it at multiple studies over years.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah,
It's, you know why? It's because they eat babies.
It's true.
Yeah.